All right, so here we got a little update for you. This will be part 2 video of the drag 3TC motor coming together. So we got the crank fitted in. We got the pistons assembled on the rods. So if you look here, we got pistons assembled. All the pistons are together. What we're gonna do next is actually gap the piston rings. So there's the block with the front cover on. We have to get the flywheel still on it, and but yeah, everything went together really well. So here you can see, get a better idea and give you guys some light. So crank is in, cam is in, timing chain is in, and girdle's on. So the tricky part about assembling this is when you check your main clearance and all that, it gets a little tricky because you have to put the girdle on to torque everything down to get your proper measurement. So as opposed to a motor that didn't have the girdle, you just put the main caps in, torque it down, check your measurements, you can take it back apart easily. Now when you go to final assemble this, you need this girdle to seal with everything that consists of your front cover and your rear main seal. So before you could finalize torquing all this together, you have to get your rear seal on, you have to get your front cover on, you have to get your timing chain in, you have to get your cam installed, then you have to set your thrust clearance and all that. So it's a little tricky, a little complicated once you have to assemble the motor with the girdle. Obviously for a 3TC, it helps this engine out a lot. Because these blocks are not the strongest, unfortunately. That's the biggest weak link with the 3T, is the actual block. But the girdle makes a huge difference. Man, this girdle is actually 1/2 inch thick, so this thing alone weighs a bunch. I actually took a bunch of measurements with these main caps and stuff, and I think I'm gonna probably make a set of make a few sets of billet mains with the girdle, with the studs. You have to supply the whole kit, so it's really for the hardcore, real hardcore racing guy, because by the time you buy this whole assembly, then send it off to get line bored and line honed, it just gets really expensive. So it's not your everyday person. Besides, we've made, you know, 700 wheel horsepower with just main caps, actually using factory bolts. So this is for something that, you know, we're trying to take to the next level, which we will find out once we get back to Hawaii and dyno this whole setup and see how much power it makes. But if you look here, if we spin this, it spins real good. Really happy with how it all turned out. So next step is gonna be to I'm gonna get the rings inside of it, gap all the piston rings, and get the flywheel on, clutch and stuff like that. So let me get these rings gapped up and I will shoot another video of that. So here's a quick shot of the head. It's all together, all assembled. I actually did a little bit of work in the combustion chamber. And this is the front of the head. The rear of the head, like you guys know, or you've probably seen, there's actually no water that goes in this head. We got it resurfaced. Valve job actually looked great. It had a couple pits here that I was a little worried about, so I actually welded them up and took care of that. And these are the holes where the water exits the block and comes out through this port, which is actually the back of the head. So just to give you guys another look at the billet head, I mean, solid chunk. This is, you know, this helps to strengthen up the motor. And yeah, so the car down in Hawaii now has a spare engine that has another billet head on it, but this is the real billet head that we actually spent a lot of time, you know, porting and making it right. So yeah, let's get this motor finalized and we'll keep going. All right, we got the pistons in, connecting rods in, and everything looked real good. Gapped the rings, everything came out good. You see the rods are in there, the powder rods I tell you guys about. So nothing changes from everything that I say. And yeah, rods are in, everything looks great. Check out the pistons on the other end. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So next I'm going to clean the oil pan and get the clutch and flywheel on there, and then I'll seal it up with the oil pan. So I'll just post a quick video of that once we get all that together. But yeah, everything's looking good so far. Pistons look great. Clearance on the rod bearing was awesome. Just had to gap the rings a little bit, and that's pretty much it. We're getting close. So let me get the oil pan cleaned, and we will keep moving along. All right, we got the oil pan on, so we got all that siliconed up, sealed up, ready to go. Flywheel clutch assemblies on. This is the Clutch Master 7 1/4 setup you see there. So custom flywheel that we have them make for us to match the weights that we want. Here's the head ready to go on. So just making sure everything's clean. L19 head studs that you see there. Man, believe it or not, these things were made a very, very, very long time ago. Back in the day, I had about 15 sets made, and obviously sold them pretty quick. I wanted to make more, but the way things have gotten lately, I don't know if guys will really want to pay for them. ARP has just skyrocketed in prices because materials, exotic materials, are just expensive. So I don't know, I'm not sure if I'm gonna make more. I know a lot of guys need them, but we'll think about it. What we're thinking about making is a custom lifter, so that we might do. But yeah, I don't have the front pulley on yet. You can see there's the block that we cemented. You see a little tiny hole there where the water will get through. So that's all done. And yeah, so lifters are in, all lubed up. And here's the gasket that we use. There is no O-ring, as you guys can see there. So here's the metal gasket that's gonna go on it. Just a regular Cometic multi-layer gasket. So yeah, I'm gonna get the head on now and torqued all down, push rods in, and I'll give you guys an update once that is on. Okay, and here is the finished product. Final assembly. We got the oil filter on. It is ready to ship. I'm actually gonna work on the pallet now. We got all the hardware back on for the intake manifold. I built this little cap just to cover the hole there for the distributor, since I don't have that. That is down in Hawaii. Fitting, you know, a little original spark, original fuel pump block off plate. I got that little port blocked off also. That's where the oil pressure sensor goes for the ECU. So up front, the crank pulley is actually in Hawaii on the spare engine as well. What else? So yeah, this is what it looks like assembled, ready to go. So I'm actually getting another pallet over there set up. So we got 2 pallets that are getting shipped, and got copper gaskets with the exhaust hardware there. Also got a few spare to go down just in case we need them. Rocker assembly, nothing special. In case anybody thinks it's got some high-tech rockers, it doesn't. Eventually, one of the things I want to make also are these stands out of billet. I'm going to work on that. So a lot of things we got in the pipeline that we want to do. And here's the clutch assembly. I already showed that to you guys. That was on the motor. And here's that water port that I showed you guys earlier, where the water exits the back of the block and out of the head right there. So that's it. Motor's ready to go. God willing, everything works out once we get down to Hilo, and I'll get you guys a video of that. So definitely more footage to come. Stay tuned. Take it easy, guys.